I wake up this morning to my daughter running down the stairs asking, Mom, can Dad bring his dog? And I ask, what are you talking about? His dog? She said, yeah, he's coming back to take me swimming. And I said, coming back? I thought he went out last night and car camped or got an Airbnb somewhere. In my mind, I was thinking, I'm sure he found some girl off Tinder whose house he could crash at. But anyway, my daughter says, no, he drove back home. Over 100 miles, he drove back home. So she tells me he drove back home over 100 miles. This is like a 2.5 hour drive, something like that. 2.5 hours. And then I say, I'll take you swimming. I'm going to go swimming with you anyway. I'll take you swimming. And then your sister will go. Because her sister doesn't want to go swimming if my ex is there anyway. He burnt bridges with my 2 older children. And there's no coming back from it. She says, well, it's too late because he's already on his way. And I immediately text him and I say, no animals allowed. No animals allowed. And then I didn't see the text he sent me. He texted me back. And so I didn't see it because I was panicking. I'm like, he is not on the way to my house with dogs because I rent and most places are zero tolerance for animals. That includes visitors. So I call him and he hadn't left yet. He was getting ready. And I said, we're not doing this all over again. I should have recorded the phone call in hindsight. I said, we're not doing this all over again. This is supposed to be my time with my daughter. Why do you keep interrupting? He said, I don't even really care about that. I just know there's a lot of hot single ladies in your area and I want to see who I run into. And I said, okay, then you can do that without interrupting with my time and coming and hanging out at my house. He said, I don't want to see you either. I don't want to be at your house either. I said, okay. He said, so I'll just wait outside and she'll come to me. And I said, okay, but if you're saying you're coming all this way so that you can meet people, why don't you just do that and then it won't interfere with my time with her? He said, because she wants to go swimming. What's the harm for a couple hours? I'm like, okay, fine. And apparently he didn't even go out last night. So is he really trying to find people to date? Because if he were, he would have gone out last night and taken someone on a date or something. So anyways, so he says he's gonna come here, but he's not gonna come to my house. He's gonna wait outside for her. And then he said, then he says, I like walking around your neighborhood. You know, yesterday there's this hot chick who kept looking at me and she was going for a walk. So I want to walk around your neighborhood. And he wanted his dog as an excuse to walk around my neighborhood. I said, well, why don't you just move here? Rent a house, buy a house in my neighborhood. You don't live here. And he's like, I already have my own house. I'm like, okay, so walk around that neighborhood then. Like, oh my God. So he has his eye on some chick in the neighborhood that's walking. That's not good. Okay? He needs to not be, I don't know what he's imagining up right now, but my neighborhood is not the place to be doing it. And he needs to just take that whole circus somewhere else. I said, you're not hitting on people, approaching people in the neighborhood. They're walking, they're jogging, they're walking their dogs. This isn't like singles meet on Adriel Street. It's not a speed dating neighborhood. It's not like, oh, dating challenge. This guy's walking with his dog on this street. All the guys are going on this street and all the women are meeting on this street. Like, no, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe he even said that he wants to spend time walking around my neighborhood because there appear to be a lot of attractive women walking around. That's crazy. And so then to make it worse, I see his text message after we hung up the phone. And his text message made me even more outraged. He is absolutely crazy. Hang on, let me get the text message. I'm coming to a stop. He actually said, okay, but I like driving and I wanted an excuse to get some to get some sun and walk around your neighborhood. And now I know the whole reason he wants to walk around my neighborhood. It has nothing to do with the kids. So leave the kids out of it. The same way I leave my kids out of it. Kids should not know about their parents' dating lives. I grew up with a single mom who always prioritized having a boyfriend over me having free time with me. Her top priority was always dating. She'd bring all these guys to my house. Creepy guys, young guys, old guys. It was fucking weird. And he knows exactly how I feel about all that. No hate to my mom, but I just don't personally feel that children should be intertwined with their parents' dating matters. They shouldn't. They just shouldn't. And yeah, I don't know. Like, no one should be swiping on Tinder asking their daughter if, oh, that's the one, I should take her on a date. You think she'll date me? That's weird. He used to be obsessed with this radio show host. And he would drive to New York City to see her in real life. And what's crazier is he took pictures of her, but it wasn't a public sporting event, but like he went there with the intent to meet her. Okay? To run into her. It was weird. And he didn't just drive to New York City once. He drove there like 3 or 4 times. He would follow her around at her events. Now, given his history with women when he gets infatuated, well, I don't want that to repeat in my neighborhood. I don't want him to get infatuated with someone in my neighborhood. He can go on a dating app or he can go to a music venue. He had the opportunity to do it last night. There were plenty of shows and events. I gave him a list of things he could do where there would be adults, maybe singles, or he could make a friend. But no. So as of today, he is driving here again another 100 miles to go swimming. And he's only coming here with the intent to meet local single women. It's so weird. I don't co-sign this behavior, but I'm glad that I at least got firm boundaries down where he's not going to be hanging out in my house swiping on Tinder. My house is not Don's bachelor pad. That's not it. Like, what? That's not even mine. I don't even have dates. I'm busy with my kids. And hypothetically, if I were in his shoes and I were kid-free all summer, I'd be going to the gym. I'd be doing things, you know. I just don't understand. It's like he can't cope when he's all alone because he must be struggling with his identity. Maybe he's struggling with his living situation. He doesn't really like living in rural Pennsylvania. But there's so many things he can do. He has all the free time in the world to get out and feel fun and happy. He doesn't have to get my daughter involved and use my daughter as an excuse to come to Pittsburgh and walk around my neighborhood with the intent to scam on local women. That's not a good idea. That's a terrible idea, and I will shut that shit down real quick because I don't want to be involved in that. I shouldn't be involved in that. I'm not tied to him. Oh my God. And a lot of you watching might think, oh, he's just fun, he's funny, and think he has good intentions. But if he had good intentions, he wouldn't be involving me or his daughter, period. I don't know why he's playing these games and why he's doing this. I don't know if he really just is a free spirit and carefree, and he's like, ooh, I'm going to go over there and use my ex's house as an excuse to walk around and meet the local single women. But that's not going to fly. That's only going to lead to a bad situation that I have no control over. All I can do is set boundaries with me and say, nope, take that circus somewhere else. And this is such a shit situation to be in. And I love my daughter, but when she turns 18 and I never have to co-parent with him again, I hate to say it. And I know he would say he feels the same way, but I don't want to know about his dating life any more than his daughter wants to. No one needs to know. The same way when I was a kid and I didn't need to know about my mom's dating life, period. It's just not a good thing. Dating should not be your priority when you're a parent. Your priority when you're being a parent should be keeping your house clean, loving your kids, spending your free time with them, and focusing on having a successful career. Those should be your priorities. I would argue your career should be in the top three. Your priority should be communication with your kids, loving and spending time with them. Then your house should be always kept clean. And then your career should come third. Because if you have a cluttered, disgusting house, you're not going to have a clean mind to attract success at work. And if you aren't on the same page with your kids, that's not going to be a good environment to work in. You're going to be stressed out at work. If you don't have those 3 things in order, you don't have time for dating. I'm not saying he doesn't. Again, he's none of my business. That's just my opinion.